What's going on, Cowboys? What's going on? Welcome to the live stream here. Good to see you guys. Green Fingers, Streg Heart. Glad to see you guys. There's about 10 of us in here. We got a live show going on here. We're going to talk all things about CBDCs, altcoins, general market stuff. We got some interesting guests here that are going to give us different perspectives, hopefully. And we're going to see, just dive into the world of crypto right now, especially altcoins. You know how I like the microcap coins. I want to take a break from those NFTs and those crazy guys who be debating me about the validity of NFTs. Maybe we could get into that as well. Oh, no sound? Hold on. There's no sound. No, there should be sound. You might need to turn up your audio because I just texted that. So Mike Thomas, thanks, man. But I think there's sound here. But let me go ahead. Yeah, sounds good to me. Okay, good. All right, good. So let me bring in our first guest here. What's going on, Half Court? Good to see you. This man is a poker savant. Got money he doesn't like to flaunt. Got advice like a broker, on fire like a smoker. He got more advice than your long-lost aunt. He is the one, the only, infinite crypto Brad. Welcome to the channel, brother.
Man, thank that introduction. That is amazing.
Yeah, Brad, thanks for joining us. You're out here living your best life here. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now.
Right now, I'm just hanging out with my wife and my 16-year-old son and my parents in Exuma, Bahamas. Swam with some sea turtles today, enjoying the sunshine and just kind of trying to take a little bit of a breather from all of the craziness in the crypto world.
Oh man, yeah. There's a lot of craziness, a lot to talk about. But thank you so much for being on the channel here. Let's bring on the next person. This man is a TA king. Takes care of you like you're under his wing. On the charts, he's a royal, smooth like baby oil, looking for a bounce like a broken bed spring. He is the one, the only AJC, Average Joe Crypto. Welcome to the channel, boy.
Woo! Man, what an intro. How do you come up with this stuff, man?
Bro, in middle school, I wanted to be a rapper. Okay, this was the lifelong goal for everyone in my town. It's just to make a living being a rapper. So
man, thank you so much for having me back again. I mean, I appreciate it very much, man.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to bring on, I mean, everyone knows that I am like very much like, anti-TA, but I love that like you are full TA and I love the different perspectives. And that's what I want to seek to bring. I want to bring different perspectives so that the chat can decide, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm lizard brain. I'm admittedly like, I don't really know this kind of stuff. And between the three of us, we have this bet. AJC reminded me before the stream, I do owe Brad a cricket that I need to eat. So I haven't forgotten. I will get to it. It's just now's not the right time. Saran's busy with his second baby. He hasn't been on stream since he's had his baby. So it's something that we need to get to. We're going to bring in our fourth guest here. He's a new friend to the channel. He's one of these guys who rolls with BitBoy, but he's got his own thoughts, his own perspective in the market. He's been in crypto for quite some time. Let me make a proper introduction for him. This man believes in being free, makes moves like the Caribbean Sea. He's no friend of the Fed. He's on the come up like bread. He stands out like a big palm tree. He's the one, the only Drew Prepper Crypto. Welcome to the channel.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. Glad to join you guys. I've been watching you and Brad for a while. It's great to meet Average Joe and just here to give my thoughts and do some research and work for BitBoy and love to join in and chime in on the conversation.
Absolutely. A lot of people already know who AJC is and Brad Infinite Crypto is, but maybe you could give us maybe like a 2-sentence summary of who you are, your perspective in coming into the crypto markets, and just give us a broad strokes of who you are.
Okay. I'm a major prepper. I've been watching the power grid for most of my life. I worked in the power industry in multiple aspects of hiring, HR, management, and also security on the power and energy sector. And I love crypto because it's disruptive technology and it's capital flight in its purest form. So I'm here for it.
Awesome. All right, Prepper, AJC and crypto. We've got a lot to talk about. Let me get your reflections on the market as it stands today. We all know that FTX is crashing a whole bunch of stuff. I was just talking to Prepper right before the stream on like just how widespread the FTX Alameda stuff is taking things down. I mentioned to him one thing. I was like, yeah, I kind of like Gala right now. I'm really liking Gala. And he's like, Alameda is kind of involved with Gala here. I'm not too sure. So I need to do more research on it. But let me get your guys' broad strokes on where the market's at right now. Are we going up? Are we going down? Do you have charts? Do you have stories? Do you have just like a perception? What do you think for the chat? What do you think is, where you guys think the market's standing at right now? Are we at the bottom? Are we headed up? Maybe anyone want to jump in first on this one?
Matt, I mean, I'm kind of midterm, short term, super bearish. Probably gonna see a 14 spot out of all the shakeout. I don't think that we're going to be breaking down to 3K like some super bears are saying, but in hindsight, it makes total sense to me because this is near the top of the 2017 run, and this is kind of where I expected things to shake back down to once the dust had settled on the last bull run, even though we didn't get as high as we wanted to. So
you're thinking we're going to break down to like 14,000 Bitcoin?
Yeah, on Bitcoin, I mean, on our TA side, it's been looking like there's a major volume gap, basically from, I think it was 17.5 down to 13.5.
Are you a TA guy?
I slightly, but I'm more looking at cycles.
Okay.
Just overall cycles, and I mean, obviously, I pay attention to Fibonacci and all those things, but we definitely have Frankie Candles to take care of us on all that.
Yeah, for sure. Franklin Candles.
Yeah, he's killing it.
AJC, Infinite Crypto. What do you guys think? Where are we sitting in the market? What is your plans on making moves in this market right now?
I'd love to hear from AJC and see what he's got on his charts right now.
All right, I could do that. That 13.5, 14K level makes so much sense to me too, especially from a TA perspective. And my TA, I mean, my channel name says it all, right? Average Joe Crypto. I mean, I'm literally just an average Joe. I'm out here in the trenches with probably the majority of, the people that watch our videos and our streams, right? They're not all, big shots that have already made it. They're the ones that are on the bottom, still in the bottom, still looking for that way out. And I'm the epitome of that, right? I'm the epitome of that. So, but yeah, I could, let's see what I could do real quick.
I'm liking how like your background looks like you're like in this huge room too with the computers and stuff.
But yeah, that short term, I mean, we did get a breakout, right? Short term, we did get a breakout here. But there's a lot in the way to really keep us from reaching the target of 19,200 or so. Even though that would make sense on the 4 hour, the 200 moving average coming up. I mean, just when you zoom back out to the VRVPs pointing to that level too for resistance, but I don't know that we'll even make it.
AJC, what is a VRVP? What was that?
The volume range visible profile, and I think that's what you were referring to, Prepper, with the volume gap. If you zoom out like on the weekly, and you look back, I mean, really, when you go back, let me pull this up real quick. Actually, let me do this. When you pull up the liquid index chart and you look at, like you said, that 13,000, 14,000. I mean, that's right down here at all this previous resistance from 2019 also. So that just makes a lot of sense. I mean, I was talking about in my stream though, how I feel like the timing of the FTX collapse and everything was just so, I mean, when you look at the bottom from 2018 and you look at the 50-week moving average, the 100-week moving averages, and you look at just where we were at here, or wait, maybe not the weekly. Let me go to, here's the monthly. Maybe it's the weekly. Where we were at, it just seems like it's like we broke the cycle almost. I mean, if you look, we're down here below the trend line of support, the long-term, historic support line.
Yeah.
We're way down here below it. I mean, 14,600, 14,300 or so right there at the top from 2019 looks good. But I mean, I don't know. What are your guys' opinion on the whole FTX thing? Because I personally, I'm I wear my tinfoil hat with pride. You know what I mean? So, where are you guys at with this? Because I mean, I feel like there's some stuff going on, right? And I mean, BitBoy's already went way down the rabbit hole with this. So, um,
Yeah.
I'm not really the research guy, but man, I just have my thoughts. But
Yeah. I still think there's a lot of things we're going to be finding out in news articles over the next 3 months as more news agencies grab on to the information and the proof that's coming forward about just how deep and how widespread this issue is. So the good news is that a lot of funds can't move around off of insolvent exchanges. So, bright side there. And that's honestly kind of as a sarcastic note in my mind, like these things are probably going to be locked on these insolvent situations until the bull run actually has a hint of coming back in summer of 2023. That's what I think happens.
Do you guys think he hacked the exchange?
Yeah, I do. That just broke right before we went live. Like,
You really?
to go live. So yeah, that is the reports actually from FTX and John Ray this tonight. It sounds like
he did hack the exchange.
Yeah, it's what it looks like. So,
oh my god.
Yeah, and Caroline is on videotape, or not videotape, audio recording, reportedly just actually admitting to using customer funds for trading with Alameda. So at the very minimum, Caroline has gone down. We're going to have a Senate committee hearing in January, I believe it's set for. Like, it's going. And we've kicked. This is a hornet's nest. You don't know what's inside of it until you kick it, right? So.
Well, so like I've known that people have in FTX have been exchanging keys for the hot wallets in FTX in unsecured emails, like the private keys and in the unsecured emails. So I didn't know if it was for sure scam Bankman-Fried or just some random other person who just happened to have the emails. Like, so everyone's got these private keys, you know what I'm saying? So I have no idea. Brad, what do you think? What's happening with this FTX thing? We haven't heard from you yet. What are your thoughts on FTX and the widespread contagion that it is?
Yeah, man, definitely. Thank you again for having me on the show. I am probably one of the most bearish people on crypto in the short term that you could ever meet. But I want everybody that's on the channel, everybody that's watching right now probably already still believes and is here for the long term, which is good. But in case this video's got any new people watching or the replay gets some new people, while I believe that we still have a lot of pain to come, a lot of people haven't really talked about this, but during the last bear market that was in 18, 19, and 20, the general economy was doing well. We had a guy named Donald Trump that was a president that was doing massively great things for our economy. The housing markets were going up and to the right. The stock market was going up and to the right. Right now, during this bear market, it's the exact opposite of the last bear market. Right now the housing market is teetering. It's already come down quite a bit, and I think it's going to continue to come down further and further. The stock market has been doing horrible. The other thing you got to remember is that at least in the US, they printed about 66% of the total money supply in the United States was printed over the last couple of years. So we've got this incredible inflation. We have everything that could be working against crypto outside of crypto is already working against us. And then we have this stuff with the Terra Luna, depegging, and now we've got this, FTX debacle. So I am in the camp that we're here to see some short-term pain. I always thought that Bitcoin would probably not go any lower than 10,000 during this bear market, 10 to 12, but I would not be surprised to see $7,000 to $10,000 Bitcoin anymore. I don't believe we're going to ever get back down to 3,000 or 4,000, but it would not surprise me if we saw 7 to 10. But folks, what I want to do is give you some hope. I don't care what it does for the next few months. In fact, it would be better for most of us, even if we don't want to admit it. Short term, it might suck. But I've always said, let's say that your long-term goal is $1 million in crypto, and you've got 100,000, say right now. Does it really matter whether it's 100,000, 200,000, or 25,000? It really doesn't matter. If I had 100,000 in crypto right now, I would actually be hoping that I woke up in the next couple of weeks and it was only worth 25 grand, because then I could continue to buy some of these amazing, coins that have got crap beaten out of them at rock bottom prices. And then when 2025 comes around, the Bitcoin halving happens in 2024 and we get the next bull run. It's just an opportunity to create massive, massive wealth. So I know a long-winded explanation, but in the short term, what looks bad is actually good, folks. Unless you already have financial freedom and you already have millions from crypto or from whatever you're doing in life, this is your opportunity to jump in. If you've never bought another crypto, it's an amazing time. If you've never bought crypto, and if you're already somewhat invested and have some education, it's still an incredible opportunity. So folks, that's, not financial advice, but right now you might see some more pain, but this is an amazing opportunity to get wealthy in the next couple of years.
Okay, so you brought up an interesting point here. You said that it would be a great buy at $25,000, and you're not surprised if it's $7,000. Let's pretend this. I've got 100 grand. I'm giving it to AJC. I'm giving it to Prepper. I'm giving it to Infinite Crypto. 100 grand. Are you guys, and I expect you guys to make more money off of this, are you guys holding in cash until it hits down lower, or would you be buying in now, or would you be, some DCAing or whatever? Because my problem with, and admittedly, I'll say this openly, I've said this to AJC personally, I've said this to anyone else, is that when we talk about where we think the market's going, I'm often given different scenarios, but you only have so much cash. So throw the money down, make the bet, call it. What do you guys think you would do with 100 grand? Would you guys, and 100 grand, we could scale that down to $1,000 for most of us in the chat. Well, by the way, chat, you guys are going crazy right now. So what's going on? Strega Heart, Mike Thomas, Green Fingers, Dina, the dopest. What's going on, guys? Everyone, all y'all. If we got $1,000 or $100,000, doesn't matter. Are you guys sitting on cash, or are you buying in right now, or are you DCAing down? What's the move?
I personally I'm buying large chunks when I see big red candles. Like I bought a good chunk in that 17.5 dip, but consistently every week I DCA 50 on really bloody weeks. It's $100. Just consistently moving into Bitcoin and a few select altcoins that I feel comfortable with.
We'll return to that, but okay, I got you. So you're DCAing right now into Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Brad, AJC, what are you guys doing?
Man, if I had $100,000 right now
From the cowboy.
or it really wouldn't matter, 100,000 or 1,000. Honestly, just like you explained, or like Brad explained, actually, I tell my channel all the time. I was telling them this, Rusty. I was telling them this, back even when Bitcoin was at 19,000, I was like, look, it really doesn't matter if it goes lower, if you have a long-term goal, long-term strategy with this, because I don't want to say anything's guaranteed. Obviously it's not in crypto or anything. But when you look at the history of Bitcoin and the cycles and the halving, you can almost guarantee those gains, right? If you just time it right, if you look at it, it should be actually easy money if you time it right. The only thing that happened this last time is Bitcoin went up, created a slightly higher high when it shouldn't have, in my opinion. I think that fake out, it made everybody think, oh, it's going to do something different this time. But it didn't. It was just a little bit of FOMO and a fake out, had everybody confused. And so everybody got wrecked, thinking that the bull cycle was going to be extended and last longer. But my opinion is for sure buying right now. And if it goes lower, buy more. I would not put it all in at once, of course. I think that's a very bad idea, because then if it does go lower, if that's all the cash you have to put in, then you're screwed in getting in at those lower prices. But DCA all the way. I did that starting out when I first got into crypto in 2018, the middle of 2018. I didn't even know it at the time how lucky I was to get in at that moment, but I DCA'd all the way down. And then, of course, during the crash, COVID crash, I all the stimmy checks went straight to Bitcoin, crypto. I mean, I was
Stimmy
buying
check.
Chainlink, Tezos, but
Yeah.
yeah, man, I think that it's honestly, I think it's never really a bad time to buy. It just really depends on your personal goal, your personal strategy. Are you just trying to get a quick buck? Are you short term? Or are you long term? If you're long term, it's always a buy. Yeah, not
Got
financial
it.
advice.
Awesome. Of course, NFA. Brad, what about you?
I agree with the other two guys pretty much, but I would say a couple of things that are slightly different in my opinion. If you only have $1,000, I think you have to be a little bit more aggressive. You'd have to buy smaller market cap tokens, things that were a little bit riskier. I've always felt like the smaller your bankroll, the more risk you can take with it. The bigger your bankroll, you want to be a little bit more careful. In other words, a guy that's got 100,000 only needs a 10 or 20x to be at 1 million, $2 million, which could be pretty life changing for most people. Or if you've only got $1,000, you got to get 100x in there, just to get to 100 grand, which starts to be, some meaningful money. So I would do it differently with 1,000 than I would 100. Now with 100 grand, I would probably invest about 25% of it right now. And then I would keep a close eye on the market. I would definitely be putting in another 25% or 25,000 if it dipped down into that $12,000 to $14,000 range. And realistically, if it gets below 10 grand, I would be happy to just dump every dollar that I had left in at that point. But what I would say, if most of the people on the channel here only have $1,000, there's nothing wrong with that. Back 5-6 years ago, I was hurting for money. I didn't have two nickels to rub together. And so what I would say to you folks that are out there with $1,000 is you got to figure out a way to make some money. Get a second job. Get an Uber and work in the evenings, volunteer for overtime, have a garage sale. If you got a second car that you're only using a little bit, you don't really need it for work. I'm not saying go sell your car and walk to work, but if you've got assets like a car or a boat or a motorhome or something like that that's really not doing anything good for you right now. Once again, this isn't financial advice, but these are just some of the things that I did in the beginning to earn money and create extra cash flow so that I could get enough money into the market that it was actually meaningful.
Yeah, awesome. I think I want to revisit that too, like how to make more money. That's maybe a whole separate like live stream in itself. I'm always churning and burning on like ideas on how to make more money. Rusty said start an OnlyFans. Really, only AJC can do that. Honestly,
They've been trying to get me to for ages, man.
Only AJC can really make that one work for us.
What Brad's saying is so true, though. It's like during the COVID crash, I worked 3 jobs. Even though I had extra money, I was still working 3 jobs, 20-hour work days. You have to put in the time and you have to be aggressive.
Yeah, I firmly agree with that. Actually, right now is where I hear so many people and just myself thinking like, okay, I got to make more money. I got to make I'm going to start a business that immediately cash flows. I don't want to invest in everything that takes a lot of upfront investment and then I'm going to wait for. I need money now. Like I need the money in hand now, and so that's personally how I would do. For me, I would invest a little bit, 10% into some crazy coins, and hold 90% into like when we're getting down low. Like for me, like my crazy coins are Gala. Although I'm rethinking Gala now, right? I'm rethinking Gala, but then I also want to stave off. I don't like that. I have a fear of margin calls. I have fear that if it hits 13K, we're going to go and hit down pretty quickly. I'm not sure how warranted those fears are, but it's just a fear personally of mine. So I'm just pretty cautious on here. I've been calling a low bear market for a long time, and I've been wrong because it's gone up and down or whatever. But I do think long term, it's taken already. When we printed in 2020, we felt the effects of it in 2021. Yeah. When we're tightening in 2022, I feel like we're gonna feel the effects of it in 2023. I think that's just like the natural.
I don't know. We're in such an interesting time, and I've seen the chat bring up some interesting points. Like Bitcoin was created right after the 2008 crash, but then it's never had to exist during a heavy-handed recession.
That's a good point.
But on top of that, in my opinion, we are about to experience a world like a war we haven't seen since in like 80 years. So
You
we're
mean
going to
Russia?
we're going to have diesel shortage. We're going to have gas, like heavy equipment and things of that nature. When these things happen, the civilian ability to get those same products is diminished because they have priority. So, like, I think about Bitcoin mining and all that stuff, and like, the cost of energy. I know that the books are cooked right now for recent, polls or whatever, but we will see that return. And, are they going to stop mining? There's a lot of stuff that's cooked into it. I don't think that it's like, I think we might have a white swan event, actually, is what I think that it's going to kind of work counter-reactive to reality.
What is a white swan event?
Where basically, I mean, I know we have a lot of priming basically for major institutions to create or operate in CBDCs, So, and I know we're going to be getting into that, but I think that they're creating a backdoor to step back into. The can is getting too heavy to kick down the road, so they have to find a new can. So that's what I'm
Interesting. Okay. All right, let's talk about this war just briefly. This is a crypto channel. I want to keep it on crypto, but yeah, I heard that missiles launched from Russia to Poland. Then I heard today that it wasn't Russia, it was Ukraine. Talk to me about what you guys' thoughts are on the war and its effects on crypto. Is it something that we need to be at any moment that this can happen, like it crash the markets, or should we not really be concerned about any kind of news or war? It's just the overall state of the market. How are you guys thinking through stuff like the war and all this kind of stuff in relation to crypto?
Yeah, I mean, I have a pretty big opinion that we're going to be in the right position for this tug of war, because what we're really going to end up seeing is a dislodgement. We are going to see NATO separate from BRICS. BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and now BRICS Plus, which is Saudi Arabia, and the OPEC thing that just happened. Everyone paid pretty close attention to for like 2 hours. But basically, I think that we're going to have a split world, and then we're going to also have a currency tug of war within that. And one side's going to choose CBDCs and hyper-controlled operation, and the other is going to be forced into more liberty-based systems by demand of the public. So that's what I'm thinking.
Interesting. I've never heard of this before, so this is news to me. Brad, AJC, what you guys thinking?
Man, I love this. Like I said earlier, I'm not a research guy, so that's what I got you guys and these other people for, right? To really dig deep and stuff. But I mean, as far as like, should we be concerned? I mean, I think we should definitely be concerned. I mean, anything, any hint that we're going to enter into a war, I mean, that's like a flicking a switch. It's already bad. That would definitely just be the icing on the cake. But my personal opinion on everything, I probably don't even need to say my personal opinion on the war. But I love my country, but I'm not very fond of the government. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I hear you. I see. Infinite Crypto. What you thinking here?
Man, I just want to thank you again, Aaron, for having Prepper Crypto on the channel. You're so knowledgeable, when it comes to this stuff. And one of the things that I found out about, you over the last few months is how committed you are to freedom and how committed you are to helping people open their eyes and give themselves a chance to keep their freedom. Because, I'm part of a business syndicate called Arate, which stands for excellence, but it's a group of entrepreneurs, and the leader, one of the leaders is a gentleman named Andy Frisella. And, the talk that he gave at the end of this big get together that we had, he talked about how we are on the precipice of losing freedom in America, and that most people have their heads in the sand and they not realize what's happening right before their eyes. Our government, they want to keep us broke. They want to keep us dumb. They want to keep us fat. They want to keep us lazy, because that makes us very easily controllable.
Yes.
And right now, I don't know of a way other than crypto. That's why I'm so passionate. How is the average hardworking single mom the mom and dad family that that has a nice house and a couple of cars, living mid, good solid mid. Why can't I think? You got the rich, the poor, and the middle class. There we
Middle
go.
class.
Living a nice little middle class life.
Right.
That are getting wiped out by inflation. How is the world? How are folks gonna keep up with the financial crises that are going on? You can start a business like you mentioned earlier, Aaron, but the thing is that usually takes a lot of upfront capital. It also takes several years usually to figure out what you're doing and make any money from it. So I am so passionate that crypto is the number one answer for the freedom to stay in our hands here in America, for us to keep our control, is to get more and more people in crypto. I was on Around the Blockchain the other day, and one of the things that I said on there was, at Christmas and Thanksgiving and family get-togethers, in the past, I've always been pretty passive. I would talk about it a little bit, but as soon as I got some pushback from my family, people telling me, oh, that Bitcoin, we missed the boat on it, and started being negative about crypto, I was just like, fine, I just, let them feel the way that they're going to feel. But this Thanksgiving, I think it's important for us to put our feet down and to have a backbone and to tell people, no, you're wrong. I love you, and I say this, from a heart that cares about you, but you're full of crap. Crypto is not garbage. Crypto's not going anywhere. And crypto is probably the one thing that might be able to save your financial future. And we need to let our friends and family and people that we care about know that this is the time to quit screwing around and saying, I'll get into it and I'll do it someday, and to get started buying crypto, because it's our only way out of this mess, in my opinion.
Okay, so we're gonna be sitting at the dinner table, Brad. I'm gonna be the other guy on the other side of the table. I'm gonna be eating my turkey leg. I'm gonna be guzzling myself in gravy. I'm gonna say, Brad, I don't agree with you. Okay, you're talking about this crypto stuff, and I think it's all a scam. What do you mean that my freedoms are at jeopardy? What do you mean that the government wants me to be broke, dumb, fat, and lazy? So could you please elaborate on how our freedoms are really at risk here? And you know what? Matter of fact, I slightly agree with you, okay? But I want you to nuance everything for me into what do you really mean by our freedoms are at risk here, and how is crypto the answer?
Okay, yeah, man, Aaron, I appreciate that question. And the reason that our freedoms are at risk, folks, is because the government is doing things like with the printing of all of the money over the last couple of years, and then doing the stimulus packages. The government wants us dependent upon them. America was built on a foundation of freedom, and just all we were supposed to have was liberty and life and the ability to go out and try to do what we wanted to do in life, achieve our freedoms, where the government is slowly trying to make us more and more dependent upon them by increasing the money supply and the inflation going up to where, as you probably noticed, Aaron, when you go to the grocery store, your groceries are probably costing you, almost double what they used to. Would you agree with that?
I notice when my wife comes back to me and says eggs are $7.
Yes. All of that is kind of manipulation. The gas prices going up, the grocery prices, housing, all of that is manipulating us into needing the government to bail us out.
Right.
They also, are creating this digital currency, Aaron. I don't know if you've heard about it or not, but they want to create a digital dollar so that they can basically track everything that you do. They know every penny that you have. Yep. You can't go make any money on the side, mowing lawns or doing something for people, because everything's going to be a digital dollar. They want to do that so that they have control. I'm not sure if you know what the difference between decentralization and centralization is, Aaron.
Please explain it to me.
Bitcoin is decentralized. That means that no entity can control it. It can be shared back and forth between people with nobody being able to stop it. Even the government cannot stop you from sending me Bitcoin and vice versa. And the reason that a lot of people shy away from crypto, Aaron, is they think that it's just kind of like this pie in the sky, it doesn't have any substance. It's just something that people are speculating on and buying, hoping to make money, when the real reason that crypto is valuable is because of something called blockchain technology. blockchain technology is the reason that crypto is going to continue to get adopted, just like the way cell phones 30, 40 years ago, nobody had them. Now everybody has them. Microsoft and computers changed the way we lived back then because of the Windows programs that made computers easy to use. And now everybody's got a computer. But blockchain technology is going to come in and change and revolutionize thousands of industries. And that's why it's so important to get involved in it now and make enough money through it to where you've got some freedom. Because if you've got a few million lying around, the government can't tell you what to do. You can move to another country if you need to. And the nice thing about crypto too is you can take it with you without needing to carry a duffel bag full of gold coins or silver coins.
Agreed.
And it's just many different reasons. And hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah.
And if it didn't totally answer your question, Aaron, let's go off and have another talk after dinner, away from the rest of the family.
We're going to get Korean barbecue again, but I'd like to get a response from Prepper and AJC here. What do you think about our freedoms? Because at the core of it, I think Brad is touching on the exact thing. I got into crypto wanting to make a lot of money. I stayed into crypto in this bear market because I found out about freedom. So I'd like to ask about Prepper and AJC. What do you think about crypto's answer to the defense of freedom, or maybe the encroachment on our freedoms by the Fed, the government, or whatever? What's your response into, hey, are we losing our freedoms here, or is this kind of like a smoke screen, a smoke show, or what's your response here?
Are we losing our freedoms? We've been losing our freedoms for a long time. In my opinion. And this is where I say I wear my tinfoil hat with pride because, 10 years ago, a decade ago, or a little longer ago, I mean, all the things that are coming to fruition now were all just conspiracy theories. And just about all of them, digital ID, the Great Reset, all of it is literally all out in the open now. It's all out. It's all laid out on their websites. All the information's there. But I think that what people need to understand is that this isn't something that just happened in the past few years or since COVID. They're using COVID as the reason, right? This is the Great Reset is the reaction plan to the COVID pandemic. But I'm going to tell you right now, this has not just happened over the past few years. This has been going on for decades. And our founding fathers knew about this when they knew. Even way back then, when they created the Constitution, when they created the Bill of Rights, they knew that at some point in the future, most likely the government might get too powerful, try to overstep its boundaries. And, they wanted to keep us from entering into a tyrannical government. And these things have been taking place. Now, crypto's role and everything, this is where my tinfoil hat should probably come off. But, I've asked people on my channel sometimes, we've got to ask ourselves the question, right? Since nobody knows who created Bitcoin, I mean, really, we got to ask our question. Was it the CIA? We got to ask the question. And I love crypto. I love Bitcoin. I love Brad's passion with Bitcoin and crypto. But, they're wanting to usher in a one world digital currency. They're wanting to usher in a one world government. What better way than to create something anonymously and get everybody in love with it, infatuated with it, on board with it, just to come in 10 years, 20 years down the road and, oh, well, we have complete access to everybody's funds. But then again, CBDCs are coming in. So my big thing with that is too, like, if governments enact CBDCs, well, why couldn't we just transact with Bitcoin or another crypto? Like, what are they going to do to ensure that we use their CBDCs and not another crypto? Because why couldn't we just use Bitcoin for payment? But I mean, I'm very passionate about freedom and about all this. Coming from somebody that spent quite a bit of time without my freedom, So people that, like you said, Brad, at the dinner table, they don't want to hear it. They come at you with the negativity. It's because they don't understand the seriousness of what the solution, what the solution Bitcoin and crypto and blockchain technology could bring. They don't understand that there is a problem and that this is a solution, but they don't understand there's a problem. So of course they're not going to see it as the solution.
Yeah. I think you bringing up some of the facts that, like, hey, you know what, maybe we do bring up where did Bitcoin really come from, and and I think something you said, so someone who has spent quite a bit of time with no freedom really values freedom. I find it really funny sometimes. Did you guys know this, that what happened here, that these people who 1,500 people who protested for hijabs in Iran, they were all sentenced to death recently. Like some sheik is sitting somewhere like, oh, you got a problem with the hijab? Death. You know, like, it's like, you want real oppression, you want real lack of freedom, go to another country, see how they treat you there. Prepper, I haven't heard from you. What do you think about this freedom and what mixed with crypto? And is it shrinking? Is it growing? How do you respond to all of this?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the first thing I want to respond to, I mean, that thought of DARPA creating Bitcoin has definitely crossed my mind before, but then I pair it with the programs that the Fed and the White House is putting into place to actually try to catch up with the technology. Even had to tap, I believe it was Constellation and XRP for the FedNow and FedWire programs. They wouldn't be using those vehicles if they created Bitcoin, in my opinion, because I think that if it was DARPA, they would have done a better job at speed, because that's been the main thing. Speed and velocity of money is extremely important now that we have a global economy, and found profoundly important during a global economy shutdown and emergency funds needed by the IMF. So there's that, but then I feel like Bitcoin is honestly our last chance at fiscal sovereignty being reinstituted, and actually like monetary responsibility. It's a chance for us to bring back monetary responsibility to the heads of our government. And I think of a world where, every dollar that you have to spend on a missile is on a blockchain, and that's all public. And there's a lot less missiles, a lot less fighting if it's all out in the open in a transparent manner. So I think that once people understand the possibilities with the reduction in war and the long-term prosperity for humankind that could come from true transparency from our government, would be profound. So
you sound like Michael Saylor, bro. Like, what, are you Bitcoin maxi? What's going on here?
I definitely get into altcoins, but it's more I have a bag of altcoins that I like, and I think that altcoins are great vehicles for, like Brad said, creating wealth. If you have a small amount and you need to be super aggressive, not financial advice obviously, but you got to build something to be able to try to retain it. So I use altcoins as a vehicle to do that, and they're definitely beat down right now. I would be very cautious. I am very cautious about looking into new projects during the bear market, but they're great vehicles. And I think that there's such a wide array of different technologies that are going to have to be implemented into blockchain that there's plenty of room for probably 5,000 projects to be actually in utility by 2030. That's what I feel like. So
yeah, Grizz is saying I'm turning into a maxi. I've turned into a maxi in philosophy. I do agree that with Brad and Prepper here, maybe at AJC, that altcoins do have a exponential type of growth.
They also have the exponential downside.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah, for sure. Exponential death too.
Yeah.
So 2 things I want to cover before the stream ends. One, and this will be the last one, was what your favorite altcoins are. What are, if you guys are investing in them? If not, let us know. But before that, we have to get to CBDCs. I think all of us have mentioned it in some kind of form or another. If you don't know what that means, central bank digital currency. It's a currency, basically a stable coin, but who knows what the backing is of that? I don't even know. That is completely controlled by the government. That means a pencil pushing, black rimmed nerd dweeb is representing the government and making decisions on yours and my net worth. So I need your guys' reaction on CBDCs. If you guys didn't know, the New York Fed just went live with CBDCs 2 days ago, maybe yesterday, something like that, within this week, in a pilot program. So they're testing it. And if they're in alpha testing, they'll be beta. And then in the beta, they're in mainnet, if you guys catch my drift. So what's your guys' reaction to the implementation and the what will be the future CBDCs? Anyone free reign here?
I just ranted. I'm going to let someone else take it. I'll
Yeah.
come back on this. I'm going to rant again, so I'll be careful here.
I'm looking forward to his rant. I'll go first. I've never researched exactly how they work and what they are. I mean, I've got a pretty good idea, but I just, for me, I don't like fiat. I haven't liked fiat for a long time. I literally haven't spent any fiat for probably a couple of years, and you wonder how that's possible. But what I've done over the last couple of years is anytime I want to use money for life, I mean, it turns into fiat right before I spend it, but it's all 99% of my net worth is in crypto. And when I get ready to spend some money, I turn it into a USDT or USDC. I send it over to a platform called CoinZoom where I've got a debit card. And when I swipe that debit card, it pays the merchant in fiat. But I don't keep a bunch of money laying around in bank accounts and that type of stuff. But what I don't think I guess what people need to realize once these, CBDCs are in place, they can literally, double the money supply with a click of a button. Where, I mean, at least now they got to print the money, get it out into circulation. And what I don't think a lot of folks understand is that if you have, 100 of something that are worth $1 a piece, and all of a sudden somebody snaps their fingers and turns it into 200 of them, they don't just continue to be worth $1 a piece. And now you have $200. Normally happens is become worth 50 cents each. And now you've still got $100 worth of value there. So everybody that's already got money, all of a sudden the government prints some more, snaps their fingers, clicks a button, and increases the amount of digital dollars that are there. That's basically inflation. That's why you guys are seeing your gas prices double in the last couple of years. Your grocery prices double in the last couple of years is because of all of this money that they printed in 19, 20, 21. And now they're going to be able to do it even easier. So it's a horrible thing for the general public. And once again, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are the answer, because what always goes up when money becomes worth less, gold, silver, we're always the hedge against inflation. You've probably heard it your whole life. If you want to hedge against inflation, buy gold. If you bought $20 worth of gold in 1900, you could buy roughly the same amount of stuff with it here in 2022, because now gold is a couple $1,000s an ounce. Mm-hmm. Well, crypto is going to be the same way. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the top altcoins are, as the dollar becomes worth less and your spending power decreases, they are going to become worth more, and your power is going to increase. Just like Bitcoin. Say Bitcoin was, $100 in 2010. Even now at 15,000. That's still a huge increase. What you could buy for $100 in 2010 versus what you can buy for $15,000 in 2022 is astronomical. The $15,000 Bitcoin is worth way more than a $100 bill. And it's going to continue to do that, in my opinion, over the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 50 years. Bitcoin's going to be the only thing that outpaces inflation and gives you an opportunity to, to stave off the financial craziness that we're going to be over the next few years.
Brad, I completely agree with you. I'd like to just add to your inflation narrative here. You said that if you have $100, someone prints $200, it's all of a sudden you still got the same value. It's just worth less. Let me just add one aspect of it. It's proximity to the money printer. Is that when the money printer drops on certain individuals, they legitimately have more buying power than anyone else who didn't receive that cash drop. Okay, so forget stimmy bills. It's just the bailouts. Those guys just got influx, and everyone else is operating off this like certain money supply. Like the prices were established at a lower money supply. So these guys coming in with full government money bag coming in, they know they can spend like their buying power is astronomical. Okay, that is just the banks. Now Americans got stimmy dropped. Everyone outside in the world, like in different countries, they're so far away from the money printer. much further away than Americans, that their prices start to inflate at a faster rate than American prices are inflating. The peso in the Philippines, which is on 12 hours on the other side of the world, is actually it went from 40 pesos to the dollar to 60 pesos to the dollar. So it's a 50% inflation increase. And so I think proximity to the money printer is a big advantage when it's coming to money printing and inflation and all that, because everyone else is operating on a different playing field. That's just it's called the dollar milkshake theory. I'm not sure if anyone are interested in that. You could research that one as well. I'm gonna stop ranting, but I want to hear from AJC and Prepper here on your reaction to the government with CBDCs, and then I want to go into our favorite altcoins.
You know, I mean, is anybody really rooting for CBDCs? I've been against it really from day one. I mean, I just don't. It just don't make sense to me. If they, like I said earlier, I mean, what's going to stop us all from just, like Brad said, you know, he can spend his Bitcoin anywhere, or you know, he can spend his crypto anywhere. I mean, even if they do create the CBDC, I mean, the majority of people that are in crypto, I guess the other majority, the masses, will fall right in line, I guess, and go right along with it. But the majority of us, you know, like I spend on my Coinbase card, you know, spend whatever, you know. I mean, there's ways around it. You know, are they going to stop that? I don't know. I mean, is there a way for them to stop that?
Yeah, I think so. I think so, AJC. I think they're going to launch investigations on other exchanges, stable coins, Tether. They're going to launch these investigations, and they're going to go down. Personally, I think that's what could happen.
So what's the safe bet then? They're coming for it all. You know, Bitcoin. Yes. I would agree with that. Absolutely. I'd like to know what Prepper thinks.
Well, I mean, I think with every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So you will see timed out, expiration dated CBDCs that do away with the ability for people to have a savings account at a point. You will see that level of control. But then on the other hand, you will also have thousands, you know, hundreds of thousands of alternative avenues that you can offload your crypto in for goods. Like, for instance, JM Bullion. You can literally send them straight Bitcoin and they will send you gold back for it. You know, it's my favorite stable coin. I don't touch USDC. I don't touch any of this stuff. Go gold, sit on it. Maybe it goes up and it does. I don't know. I just hold it. I like it. I like the combination. And like Brad said, diversification is really key. But CBDCs, you know, you can resist them personally. And I think that as people understand what they really mean, they'll see the results of what is being done in China with the digital yuan. They'll be able to kind of highlight, because we're not looking to be very friendly with China over the next 7 years. So that's going to be very publicly aware. You know, I really think that I have faith that the American people will be able to legislate and set reasonable boundaries for our government in this. And the CBDC is a liability of the Federal Reserve specifically. So it's basically the Federal Reserve is the only one that can print currency. And that's where the whole tussle, that's why they're targeting stable coins to begin with, is because they want that ability. And honestly, like, printing is not that difficult for them. They've built up an amazing deficit without the help of the recent crash. I was expecting this. I'm amazed that we've made it this far with the debt that we have. So, yeah, it's definitely something that I feel like they're just creating another vehicle to kind of swoop into the next room and avoid that mess a little bit, and just keep walking down this hallway now of CBDCs, and they're going to call it tokenization. That's when you start hearing the word tokenization on commercials from your bank, you know that you might be getting close to being too late. Yeah.
Jeez Louise. Full control is scary, for sure. Yeah. Full control is scary. Look, I'm not sure if there's a lot we could do against CBDCs other than to vote. And when I say vote, I really mean buy Bitcoin.
What speaks louder than money? What speaks louder than money? You know, you can fill out all the boxes you want. You can get online and argue with your neighbors about whatever color they got in their front yard, or you could vote with your money. That's the
I
only
don't care if you're Democrat. I don't care if you're Republican or independent. What I do care is if you're encroaching on my freedom, I will vote with my dollar and my feet. You know what I mean? Like that's just one of those things. It's like an American, and I know some of us. I think about 40% of my crowd isn't American, so I just want to. This is like a real American like spirit, right? Like you will, like voting and like your own decision, your own ability to make your own decisions is very American, and I just wish to impart at least a part of that spirit into other people because I think it's very freeing. Look, we're winding down the final stretches here of our stream here. I'd like to ask, what are your guys' favorite altcoins? What are the degen plays, if you guys have them? If you think that sitting in stablecoin is the better play, then let us know. But there's a whole chat in here asking, okay, what do I do with my money? I'm going to go work. I'm going to come back with $50. I got $50 that I worked 2 hours for or whatever. And I don't know where to spend it in. What do you think you would do with an extra 50? I know we talked about this, but what do you think you would do right now? Would you sit on it? Would you buy some particular coin? What's the move?
I'm buying coin. I'm buying DAG, Constellation DAG. Pretty excited. It's nonlinear blockchain communication technology for U.S. Navy and Air Force machinery systems. So I'm all about that. And then Cardano. I met Charles. I trust him. I like him. I think he's smart, and I think he's going to be really good for the space. So I like Cardano as well.
So which one would you buy which one would you buy?
Oh, I'm buying DAG. I'm buying DAG. I kind of flop back and forth. I buy DAG one week, then I buy Cardano. I kind of go back and forth. Every now and again, I'll add to my XRP bag, just out of spite towards Dirty Gary Gensler. But
Dirty Gary Gensler. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, I've done zero research on DAG. I'm gonna have to do some research on it. You're my tip off right now, so thanks for that.
Yeah,
AJC, I see. What do you guys think? Hit me up here.
What is it?
What if you got $50? If you're buying, what are you gonna buy? What's your favorite altcoin right now, or Bitcoin? Like, what would you do if you're coming home with a little bit of money? What's the thing that you're gonna are you gonna buy? Are you sitting in stablecoin? Are you gonna buy a particular altcoin? What's your move?
Man, I think it was Prepper that said he DCAs regularly. If you're working with $50, I mean, my goal at this point right now, I mean, I'm still not a one coiner, right? So my goal is, I want to get to 1 Bitcoin. Of course, everybody wants to get to 1 Bitcoin first. I love the altcoins, and I do think a lot of them, as far as utility goes, they will be pretty significant in the future. But I still see them like I think one of you said earlier as an avenue to get more Bitcoin. I mean, it's a great way to get to that 1 Bitcoin status. But I'm probably in the same position as a lot of the people that watch our streams and our videos and stuff, where as the inflation and the economy is hitting me pretty hard. I'm a single dad, and so a lot of people may not even have $50 to invest right now. What I would say to those people is, if you still have money in crypto, if you can leave it in there and not take the loss, I would leave it and just wait it out until the economy is to a point where you can start to invest regularly in DCA. But I do think that it's a great time to get in, but the problem is they have pushed all the little guys so far into a corner that right now, being the best time to invest, most people aren't able to, and I think that's all part of the plan.
That's part of the plan.
So I mean, sadly, it's all about keeping the little guy little. And Bitcoin, I've always seen it. When I first learned about it, I said, this is the way out. This is the way for the little guy to get the leg up on the big guys, right? Who was selling their Bitcoin to all the big guys, right? The ones that bought in 2013, right, and held, they were selling to the to the ones buying it big. So it was a great transfer of wealth. And at this point, I think that it's been infiltrated a lot. And but I still believe in it, of course. And I'm going to keep trying to get to that 1 Bitcoin. That's my goal at first, and then only up from there.
That's a huge. I mean, you'd be like some percentage of the entire world with 1 Bitcoin for sure. Brad, what do you think here? You got it. I know you've mentioned Beam Swap to me. I know you've mentioned some other tokens to me. What you think in this motion? Or I mean, Ed, you heard AJ say. I think I'm hearing you're going to sit in stable. Is what I think I heard. You're just a little cautious there.
Yeah.
I see. What do you think?
Yeah, man, I'm definitely not I am not cautious. Unfortunately, right now I'm full-time crypto. So I wish I had an income stream coming in so that I could be buying more crypto. Right now I'm kind of holding on for dear life. And I'm putting a little bit of money here and there when I can. But I kind of live off a lot of my crypto and stuff too. So I'm in a different place than I wish I could be. I really actually wish right now. I thought a couple of times about going back out and getting some type of a good paying job just so that I could be investing more and spending less of it. But I am unemployable at this point. I've decided it is what it is. But so my philosophy of what I would be buying if I had money coming in is right now I think that a lot of the top 25 tokens are beaten down. I love Polkadot. I love Chainlink. I love ADA. I love Matic. I definitely think that Ethereum is going to have a heck of a run during the next bull market. I really was starting to get pretty excited about Solana. And I know that a lot of people think it's dead. I don't think it's dead. I think that Solana will rebound eventually and be a good investment, but it's a little bit tough to really want to be on their bandwagon right now with everything that's gone on. But I also wanted to say, man, I knew I liked Drew. Quick little story. DAG Constellation was actually one of the biggest money makers I've ever had in my whole life.
Yeah.
And it could have been more, but I was a part of an investment group. And two of the tokens that they really, really were high on back in 2019 were DAG and RSR. And I bought about $1,000 worth of DAG when it was down at 0.28.
Nice. Wow.
So at its all-time high, that was 146,000. I didn't sell it all the way at its peak, but it was, probably, it was one of the best investments that I ever made, one of the biggest chunks of money that I ever made on one token. So he just kind of reminded me of it because after I sold it off, I'd kind of forgotten about it a little bit. I see it's all the way down to 4 going on 5 cents. So that could be a sleeper. That's one, if Drew is big on it, I would definitely take a closer look at it and be willing to maybe buy some of that. And I am definitely, if you want one more degenerative play, I still love Beam Swap. The Glint token, it's a DEX on the Moonbeam network. Once again, Moonbeam won a parachain on the Polkadot, won a Polkadot parachain. And I think that during the next bull market, Moonbeam network and the Beam Swap DEX that's on Moonbeam could do amazing, amazing things. It could be 1,000xer for us during the next bull market.
I swear, if I had $100,000 off of like $1,000, I would be freaking out, dude.
It happens though,
it's happened to me a couple of times. Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's
happened to me a couple times.
You have to have patience, and you can do it.
It's happened to me like multiple times actually. Like I'm like, what did I do? You know what? I was talking about this. I was like, I thought literally in a bull run, like in that bull run in 2021, it's so inflated with false success. And what I mean by that is they were just pumping money into the system. Everyone was winning. And so you just had to throw money at something, right? I threw it at Kishu Inu and I made like a 20x. I don't know what a Kishu Inu is.
Right.
I'm like,
that's how it is in bull markets though. You can
this is how it is.
And on making money, if you learn how to trade or trade the the ups and downs, learn volume profiles, if you're able to do that right now, you're going to be able to turn a little into a lot when things are going your way. If you learn how to read, all the different market indicators that are available to you out there, go learn from everyone you can, get all the different information, and you'll be doing really good with just a small core bag,
I totally agree. Guys, I'm going to end it on that note. Prepper said, like, hey, you guys need to get to learning. Me too, right? Me too. I'm a lizard brain. We're always learning. We're always evolving. We're trying to find out more, you know what I mean? Like, stay in the know, stay in constant flow of trustworthy people who could give you proper information. And I think 3 of those guys are right here. Infinite Crypto, check out his YouTube channel. Average Joe Crypto, check out his YouTube channel. And Prepper Crypto, check out his channels. His Twitter, his TikTok is linked down in the description down below, and he rolls with a whole bunch of good guys. Guys, thank you so much for being on this stream. It has been jam-packed. We talked about CBDCs, we talked about freedom, we talked about, we talked a whole bunch of stuff.
Great.
Chat, y'all were awesome over here on this side here. You guys were, I wish I was able to get more into the chat but I just had such fire guests on the stream here. So gentlemen, thank you so much. Chat, be sure to check out every one of these guys, subscribe to them, like their content, all that kind of stuff. It really keeps us going. A lot of this times we all work separate jobs. We're all, except for Brad, he's out here in the Bahamas living his best life here.
Brad, you're in the Bahamas and you took a break from crypto and you go to where SBF is at.
This is all fun. SBF.
I didn't even realize that until after I was here. A bunch of people started telling me he's supposedly hanging out here somewhere too. So
find him.
If I run into him, I'll punch him right in the nose for all of us.
Grab his ad. Yo, thank you guys so much for being on the stream. We'll see you guys in the next one. Appreciate it.